Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In today's video, we are going to be talking about Adobe Illustrator software. So this software is in the Adobe Creative Cloud that has a monthly subscription. So what is this software? So Adobe Illustrator is a vector-driven application for designs and illustrations. Vector applications are used for creation of shape containing points, lines, and curves stored in mathematical instructions, as opposed to bitmap software, example Adobe Photoshop, which creates shapes having pixel dots. What are some of the importance of this software? This software can be used in the creation of logos, animations, banners, flyers, business cards, prototyping of web page, and thumbnails that are used in YouTube. So people, after successful installation and launching of the website, this is the welcome page or the welcome phase or interface of Adobe Illustrator. Right on top it is boldly written "Welcome to Illustrator." Right at the middle of the workspace we have a preset of configuration or parameters that are set by the software in order for you to use them. So if you're working for A4 or A4 related designs, you might like to choose this. And for postcard, for web large, for phones, and for TVs, or you can customize your own personal parameters that you're going to be using. So by clicking on this is also the same thing as clicking on the create new button. So the open button opens a previous file that you've worked on. So recent documents are presets or the document that you've worked on. So these are a bunch of them. Okay, this button's over here at the right hand corner. So this is telling you that you should arrange them in thumbnails or in list style. So straightforward, we're going to create a new document. So this is the dialog box that will be appearing after clicking the create new button. Right on top it is written recent for recent parameters that you have used, save for the saved parameters you have saved on your software, then the mobile if you are designing for mobile, if you are designing for web, if you are designing for printing purposes, films and video, arts and illustrations. At the right hand corner we have preset details. So these details are the presets that you're going to be manipulating to suit your test. So here it is a space for naming your document. So let's name it open. So open is the name of our document. So this will appear on our document bar on the interface when we create it. So right below it we have width and height. So width define the width of the workspace or the artwork that you're going to be using, and the height equally defines the height of the artboard. So you can see they're written in inches. So inches is the unit that I'm going to be using. If you want to change it to another unit, you can come to this rectangle bar that is here and choose the kind of unit that you're going to be using. So here is the orientation of the artboard. You can choose either a portrait or a landscape. So I'm going to be using a landscape. So artboard, this is the space that you're going to be using for design. Artboard is found on the canvas of the software. Okay, this is the bleed. So what is a bleed? A bleed is the space on artwork that falls off printing bound box. So that space that falls outside of printing bound box doesn't get any, or it gets cut off after printing your document. At the right hand side of the bleed parameters we have this link button. This link button shows us or tells us that once we click or change one parameter, it affects the others. But we are going to leave it as 0. Unlinking it means you can only change one parameter at a time. So this under the bleed is advanced option. Advanced option have presets that are under it. One we have the color mode. The color mode tells us whether you're going to choose the RGB, that's the red, green and blue, or the CMYK. The CMYK is basically used for printing, so we are going to be making use of RGB. The raster effect is used to show the pixel per inch, that's PPI, the pixel per inch that you are going to be using. So I'm going to leave it at screen. Okay, so this is the preview mode. So basically everything that is under this preset, you have to leave it as they are. So before we head on to click on the create new button, let's go down here. At the bottom of the dialog box, we'll have a search icon with find templates on Adobe stock. So this, by clicking on this, we have a bunch of templates that Adobe has in store for us. Another shortcut for creating a new document is Ctrl N. To open is Ctrl O. So let's click the create button. After creating a new document, the bunch of icons on this software could be overwhelming for a beginner who is just learning the software for the first time. So let's go over it one after the other. At the top we have the application bar. So the application bar contains basically all the most important icons on this part of the software are the document arrange button, the switch button, and the search button. The search button for searching Adobe stocks. So the essential button basically helps you to switch to the workspace of your choice. I like to use Essentials Classic, so I click it. So Essential Classic gives you a better edge over Classic, because Classic you don't have this control panel right below the application bar. So choosing this could be a nice output. So on the essential we don't have this divided into two columns, we only have one column. Just take a look at it. Let's change it to essential and you see we have only one column. This is for beginners. For beginners purpose, let's leave it like that. So this is the toolbar. The toolbar contains a bunch of tools that are used for creating, editing of images, artworks, and illustration. Tools that have related or that are related to each other are grouped together. Let's take a look at this second tool. This second tool is called the direct selection tool. Right below it we have a notation telling us that it has other options or other tools that are related to this tool. So by left clicking on it, you see the other tools that are related to it. Mind you, these are docked type of icons. That's what you call the floating type. To float an icon, you can see as I click the icons that are related, if you want to float them, you can see right beside it we have an arrow notation. Once we click it, it gives us a floating dialog box. This you can decide to close it by clicking the close button. So under it we have the status bar. The status bar contains the zoom level, then the current artboard that you are working on or the current artboard navigation. So we have the bar that contains or that gives us information about the tool that you have selected. This is the selection tool. You can see the name right down here. So this can be changeable through clicking this arrow button. Once we click it, then click show, you can choose what you want to appear on the bar. So I will choose date and time so that it give me the date that I am working on and the time that I will be spending on my work. So right after it we have the navigation bar or the navigation control. The navigation control are in pair. So this is the horizontal navigation control, and at the right hand side you have the vertical navigation control. In case I forgot something at the initial point, once you have your artwork like this, the shortcut is Ctrl 0. So Ctrl 0 brings your artboard to center. At the left hand side we have the properties, the layers, the libraries. So what are these used for? The library is a section that you can search for stock, just like the search button about Adobe. The layers tells you the layer that you've worked with. The property panel helps you to view settings and control in the context of your task or what you're working on. So to view the control panel, let's change our interface to Essential Classics. So this on top here is the control panel. The control panel contains option or display option for the currently selected object in the artboard. Furthermore, we have these double pointed arrows. We have one here at the left end of the software, then we have the other one here. So these are collapse icon. You can use it to collapse a dialog box just like this by single click. Once you click it, it expands the dialog box. So by clicking it again, you're collapsing it. So that, my people, is the interface of Adobe Illustrator. In the next video, we are going to be talking about important parts of the toolbar. So right below the application bar, we have the document bar. The document bar gives us information about the document, the name of the document, and the zoom size and the color mode that you have been using. So open, just as we name it in the create document section. So open is the name of the document, then the zoom size is 48.21%. So away from that, let's look at the toolbar. So the toolbar contains a bunch of tools that have specific functions. The top among the list is the selection tool. One important thing about all these tools is that once you hover on them, it gives you the name of the tool. Okay, just look at direct selection tool, pen tool, curvature tool, polygon, paintbrush, type tool, and so forth. So the selection tool is used for select images and illustration on the artboard. Let's take this and change it back to rectangle tool. So this is the rectangle tool that is used for the creation of rectangle. Once you click it, you click on the artboard, hold and drag to the appropriate size of your choice. At the corners of the rectangle, having dot inside them. By clicking it and dragging it, it changes all the corners at the edges of the rectangle. So, but hey, I want to change just one part of it. How do you do it? You click on the corner that you want to choose and you click again, hold and drag. You can see it affects only the side of the rectangle. Okay, so you can see it affects only the side of the rectangle. So the direct selection tool, it is used to select the path or the stroke, and you can manipulate along the line. Okay, once I click this, I can manipulate it and change it to any form, which the selection tool doesn't do at all. So that's the major difference between the selection tool and the direct selection tool. The direct selection tool can be used more advancedly in changing of the path or the stroke. So this brings me to an important note. The stroke is the line on an object or an illustration, while the space inside the stroke is called the fill. So let's go to the right hand side of the software workspace. This is the appearance. This is the fill. Just as I've said, the fill is this space inside the stroke. So the color of our fill is white. Let's change it and you have a better understanding on this. Once you change it, you can see the fill changes to blue. So the stroke is the line outside the fill. So let's change the width of the stroke. You can change it manually. You can change it manually. It has changed. So this defines the width of the stroke. So we're at 31. We'd like to bring it back to 1. The next icon is pen tool. The pen tool is used in drawing of lines and curves. So how do you make use of this tool? If you click the tool, you can come to your artboard. You click once and release, then drag the pen tool. You can see the line following the pen tool. Then to the point of your desire, you click again once. So it creates a straight line. Okay. So let's assume you want to use it in creating of curves. Once you click, you hold and drag. You can always drag it down to increase the depth of the curve or push it up to reduce the depth of the curve. But once you're done, you can see you're still stuck with the pen and this line can't go off. How do you get rid of it? Press the escape key on the top left corner of your keyboard. Okay, next to it is the curvature tool. The curvature tool is used for creation of curves. You can see it continues, so I don't want that. So once you click on another spot, it joins. Once you decide to click on the third spot, it creates a kind of a curve. So depending on the curve that you want, you can click and it gives you the desired curve. But you can also use it to create a straight line. How? You double click on the point, then you click, that's a straight line. Okay, let me change this fill to white so that you grasp what I'm doing. So if you want to draw a straight line with a curvature tool, you double click, then you double click here, get a straight line, you double click here again. Then if you want to create a curve, just a single click, you can see the curve is back again. So you can see this is where I started from, this place. So if I'm joining it, the circle is complete. This below the curvature tool, we have the rectangle tool. The rectangle tool is used for drawing of rectangle and a bunch of shapes that are related to rectangle. Let's look at them. We have the ellipse, you have the polygon, you have the star, you have the line. But let's look at some of the icons that are under it. We have the ellipse tool. The ellipse tool is used for creation of ellipse. But if you want to create a circle, you click, hold down the shift key and drag. So the next tool under it is the polygon. If you want to create a polygon, you right click, then it now gives you this dialog box. This dialog box contains, so it is telling you the radius and the sides, the number of sides that you want. Let's say we want five sides, and we click OK. So it gives us a pentagon. This is the brush. The brush is used to make drawings on the artboard. This is the type tool, and the type tool is used for typing of characters on the artboard. You click it, then you come to artboard, you click. Once you click on the artboard, you have a dummy text highlighted. You can choose to delete and type in the words that you want. Let's say Adobe. So that is the name. They might not be visible, but let's make them bolder. So by selecting it, you can come here at the property, which contain a set of control panel. So you can change the width of the type of the fonts by clicking on this and increasing the numbers. You can see how they are changing. So let's clean up all this. So if you want to clean up jargons on your artboard using a shortcut, you click on the select button, then you select the whole of the items and you press delete. Okay, so assuming you have, let's create a kind of rectangle. This, let's change the fill to white and the stroke to black. Okay, another rectangle and another rectangle and another rectangle. So you have 4 rectangles and you want to like join them together. How do you do that? You select the whole of them, then using the shape builder tool, we are moving on to the shape builder tool. So the shape builder tool is used in removing. So what do I mean? So once you click on the shape builder tool, okay, click it, then you can see a kind of mesh around it, which means, and you can see the arrow change to plus, which means you are adding this to this. You can see it creates a square once you release. But if you want to reduce, you press the alt key. You can see it changes to minus. Under the arrow it changes to minus. This, you want to remove this line, so you can click, hold and drag and it removes the line. Okay, let's see, you want to remove this, you click, hold and drag. Okay, want to remove this square inside here, click, hold and drag. Okay, want to remove this line, click, hold and drag. Then the width tool for changing the width of a path. Let's assume you want to change this. You can see. So basically these are the icons that we are going to lay our hands on. So more icons will be dealt with in our future projects.